In 490 BC, the Battle of Marathon occurred. This battle was between the Persian Empire and the Athenian Empire. Athens defeated the Persians by using the strategy of surrounding the enemy and slowly closing in on the victim. After this embarrassing defeat, the Persian king Darius was extremely angry and sought revenge. He wished to burn Athens down. He never could though, because he died later that year. His son Xerxes expressed the same hatred for the Athenians and began preparing to attack the city of Athens. They would enter through the back way, known commonly as Thermopylae, meaning hot gate. The Spartans were the largest war enthusiasts of all time. Their whole civilization was based around it. When you were born in Sparta as a man, the elders would take you and check for defects of any kind. If you were clean, you would live with your family for the next 7 years. If you didn't pass the test, you were left in the wilderness to die. At 7 years old, you were taken from your family and sent to training for war. You would train for the next years of your life until you were of age, in which case you were sent to battle. You would remain in battle until you retired at 60 years of age. This is how Leonidas grew up, as well as the 300 at Thermopylae. Leonidas was the leader of all Spartans and is known to be arguably the greatest leader of Sparta of all time. Throughout all of Greece's history, the city-states warred with one another. The main rivalry was between the two main powerhouses of the ancient world, Sparta, the center for war, and Athens, the center for intellect. The two had been warring for centuries with no end in sight until one day an Athenian spy spotted a moving force of Persians heading for Greece. The sight of this scared the Athenians, and they knew they had to beg for help to their mortal enemy, the Spartans. Leonidas, then the leader, agreed to help the Athenians in their stand against the Persian Empire. This stand united the once warring country. The Athenians and the Spartans brought all their best soldiers to Thermopylae, the place where the stand against the Persians would take place. The Athenians, masters of the sea, would bring their navy and fight the Persians' naval forces. The Spartans would bring the best hoplites, or foot soldiers, into battle against the armies. The battle was nearly 4,300 of Greeks to the Persian 150,000, and this is where strategy took its turn. The pass of Thermopylae was very tight, making it so that the numbers of the Persians were useless. After a few short days of battle, the Persian Empire eventually killed off all the Spartans that remained, including Leonidas and the Athenian ground forces. The Persians went on to overrun Greece completely until the Greeks came back and took back their land. After this stand, the Persian Empire collapsed itself, and the Greeks were in a golden age. Leonidas was remembered as a hero, as were the 300, and their memory still comes today. The Greeks were now united together because of the valiant efforts of Leonidas and his armies. The Athenians became obsessed with new politics known as democracy. The Spartans continued to war, but whenever the Athenians asked if they could help, the Spartans always refused and stayed independent. Though many died valiant deaths at the Battle of Thermopylae, it shows us that through fire, can come new life, and through destruction can come a golden age. Many of the strategies and ideas that were founded because of the Battle of Thermopylae are now very common in our modern society. Through Athenian democracy came our own democracy, and we follow their example each day. In many ways, the USA resembles Greece, because when in struggles, we all always unite, and this is shown in many of the wars throughout history. In these ways, the Battle of Thermopylae and all who died in it are remembered, and we continue their legacy each day.